Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review for you guys. So the movie I'm reviewing today is Serial Mom. So Serial Mom is directed by John Waters, and it came out in the 90s. And basically it kind of takes a play on the true crime fascination and kind of obsession that occurred in the 90s, but this was also pre-O.J. Simpson. So this movie takes place in Baltimore, Maryland, and we're following the all-American family. And the matriarch of this family is Beverly Sutphin. And she appears to be like the perfect housewife, the perfect mom. But what people don't realize is that she's got a bit of a darker side. So it starts off with her making obscene phone calls to one of the neighbors down the street, saying very inappropriate things, but she says it in this like very deep voice and not something that is necessarily easily recognizable, and that escalates. And it ends up escalating to murder, and she ends up murdering these people over very trivial slights. So this movie is really like the beginning stages of Karen culture, and I think that is super interesting because obviously this type of person has been around for probably ever, and this was like before Karen's there was Beverly Sutphin. And obviously it's not to that extent. Most people, it's not to that extent, but it is a very interesting satire that's still relevant even to today. I mean, this is a satire ultimately of the true crime fascination of the 1990s, but this was early 1990s. This movie came out in 1994. This was before the O.J. Simpson trial, which I would assume I wasn't alive during the murder. I was alive during the trial, but obviously I don't remember. It kind of set off a resurgence in this true crime fascination. As far as I know, and from things that I've heard, the O.J. Simpson trial was the trial of the century. Everyone was watching it, and it kind of had a resurgence a couple years ago. I watched several public trials that were going on when I was in high school, and I mean, I'm fascinated with true crime anyway, so stuff like that's right up my alley. Now let's talk a little bit about Beverly Sutphin. This is a really fun character, and it is played by Kathleen Turner, but she was not the only person that was thought of for this role. There was Meryl Streep, who I couldn't really see Meryl Streep doing this kind of role. And I don't even know if she would probably not ever do a movie by John Waters, but I mean, you never know. And then we also have Kathy Bates, who I could kind of see Kathy Bates doing something like this. And then we also had Glenn Close, which I would have been really interested to see how Glenn Close was in this role if she was ever cast, because Glenn Close played crazy in 101 Dalmatians. She was like, that was peak crazy Glenn Close, and I love her in that movie, so I would have been interested to see how she played in this movie. But we did end up with Kathleen Turner, who I absolutely love in this role, and I think that she did an amazing job. She played the character of Beverly really interestingly, because I mean, she's obviously the villain of this movie, but she's also the main character. And it's kind of like, you do feel sorry for her because, I don't know, she's very likable, I will say that. Now let's talk a little bit about the director, John Waters. So he's known for many different things. He has a career that spans from the 70s until present day. He hasn't really made any movies in the past decade, at least. Maybe even the early 2000s might have been kind of like the last time he directed a movie, but this came out kind of more recently, obviously, than the 70s, and I have not seen like all of John Waters' stuff, but this is definitely one of my favorite John Waters things that I've watched. I also think that this is probably the most mainstream of the movies especially from what I've heard of from about the other movies, because I know a little bit about all the other movies, but I think that this it might be the most mainstream John Waters movie that there is, other than Hairspray, which, I mean, Hairspray, everyone knows about Hairspray. It became uber popular after it became a musical. I could actually kind of see this movie Serial Mom becoming a musical, and I would really like that. Now let's talk about the gore and the kills in this movie. I mean, there is some gore. It's not gory. And there's not really a lot of, there are a lot of kills, but you don't really see anything. It's all done very comedically, and it's really almost kind of tasteful, but also like not tasteful, if that makes any kind of sense. I mean, if you know John Waters and you know his stuff, then you kind of know that there's a little bit of a fine line there, and he does kind of sometimes go into the untasteful category, but I think that that is kind of what makes him appealing as a director. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. This is a 5-star out of 5-star movie for me, and there is one thing that I kind of wish we could see from John Waters that is kind of a little bit of a plot issue in this movie, and I would like to see a prequel from the perspective of Beverly Sutphin, because she's middle-aged, and we just kind of see her start doing this, and most people know that if you follow true crime that these people do not just up and start. There's usually a lot of history with killing people and doing all these other things. I think it would be interesting if we had a prequel where we saw Beverly Sutphin as like a teenager. I think that that could be a very interesting thing if we ever got it, which I doubt we will, but I think that it would be something interesting to at least think about. But that is it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below if you've seen Serial Mom and what you thought of it, whether you liked it or you didn't like it, and why. And remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye.